Hello. Today I'm out here to speak with you about the upcoming revolution in Virginia and give maybe a guidance or a warning about how this might continue. And I'm here at a local coffee shop specifically because it reminds me of the tea shops and coffee houses back in the 1700s, where ideas and voices were heard, things were spoken about and debated in a public forum. Recently, I've been reading the journal of Nicholas Creswell. It's a really interesting take on an affluent English merchant's son who chooses to make a name for himself outside of England by coming to America and striking out on his own. Turns out that Nicholas Creswell didn't have the easiest of times when he got here, and there are a couple of passages I'd like to read to you from his journal in just a moment. But three things are very important. Nicholas Creswell was impressed by the hospitality of Americans and Virginians specifically. He recognized that the use of rifles were not just for hunting and food, but also self-protection. And he realized that revolution was coming, and it was not something to be taken lightly. On page 125 and 126, Nicholas Creswell writes about the news of revolution in Virginia. This is starting out on October 13th, 1775, which was a Friday. And he speaks about being in Old Town at a Mr. Gibbs's house on Friday. Later, he's going to travel to Williamsburg. But he says that this pretty little town is in such an inconvenient situation, specifically because of the condition of the people. Continuing on, the people that he's talking about are the citizens of Virginia that are thinking about revolution because of the laws that are being imposed by Britain. He says on Friday, October 20th, just a week later, "To add to my distress, the moths have completely eaten 2 suits of my clothes, and nothing but war is talked of in the city, raising men and about making every military preparation possible. A large army at Boston, another in Canada, and another over or about Norfolk, Virginia. This cannot be the redress grievances that people are talking about, only open rebellion. And I am convinced that if Great Britain does not send more men here to subdue them now, then that soon they will declare independence." Well, that kind of reminds me of today's situation in Virginia, specifically with the flip from Republican control to Democratic control. And this kind of open talk, especially concerning Senate Bill 16, 18, and 64, is kind of scary. A lot of Virginians who are in support of these bills are openly talking a little bit loosely to actually sound like rebellion. Rebellion is a terrible thing to even consider. Virginians have a right to be concerned, and so should Americans across the country, because the anti-gun movement is seizing the opportunity now to make owning firearms, possessing munitions, and training something that is difficult, if not almost impossible, to achieve. In Virginia, they're doing that through instruments such as Senate Bill 16, which takes aim at owning guns that have specific cosmetic effects, which make them easier to handle, or just look scary. That introduces the Extreme Risk Protection Order, or red flag laws, which take away specifically your Fourth Amendment right to due process, and also implements bans on magazines and capacities higher than 10 rounds. Senate Bill 18 is the universal background check, and that one, as we've seen in multiple places, is extremely disgusting because of how it addresses firearm sales, specifically private sales between one person or another. And it adds serious penalties to sales that don't apply with the law in order to compound a problem that didn't exist in the first place. But the most heinous of the bills is Senate Bill 64, which is the militia activity bill. This means that acting together with someone with a rifle or a pistol, specifically in assembly, teaching them how to use it, teaching a type of defensive skill, such as martial arts, which could be used to cause civil disorder or disobedience, is illegal. This being classed a Class 5 felony. These things are things to be concerned about. Finally, Nicholas Creswell was a staunch nationalist. He believed in the sovereignty of the crown, and he was a British subject, and happy about it too. He believed in the power of the British kingdom, and that kingdom fell to the American colonies. It's something very important. Our forefathers assembled and fought at the point of bayonet and the end of rifles in order to secure our freedoms. These freedoms are being eroded every day in America. The battleground of Virginia has already stretched to Kentucky, where similar bills have been pre-filed and introduced for their legislature following a recent Democratic flip. This will continue to grow unless we can stop it, but not with force, with voice. If there is a time for force, and there could be someday, it's not now. And God bless us if there ever is. I'm Robert Ham for Virginia's Second Amendment News, reporting in Virginia Beach. Thank you for watching.